Welcome back, folks. Nemiga Gaming versus Gentlemen. Game 1. I feel like Gentlemen turned up to the wrong lobby cap. Is that a fair statement? Because they definitely weren't in that game.
No, they weren't.
And
I I really like the way Nemiga's playing. I will say that.
yes.
I think they have the right idea of how to play this patch. I'm not totally sold on their lineup as a whole, but I thought the Lycan pick was really strong, and I did like their opener a decent amount. It's like if you can get Doom, then you kind of should, and I think Magnus is worth a first pick.
Yeah. The way they played Mag, it kind of felt... I don't want to say they got away with it, but it definitely wasn't the reason they won the game. It was
Yeah.
very much Neferet's Lycan that delivered that game. Also, in fairness, Chosen One as well, playing on the Legion, done incredibly well. But now, gentlemen, they have opened up with a puck. It seems they've updated the game now. They've realized that there's better heroes and puck being available. You should definitely snatch that up whenever you can. And I never feel like puck is this bait, right? Like, if you pick it first, it doesn't feel like you have to build around the puck. It's just, you can benefit from it because you can slot it into any role and it has relevance because early on it's a good bullier. The Dream Core works well later on. It's a hard hero to kill as well. And it can also split push. So there's a reason this hero got picked so much at the start. I'm actually going to open up with the puck plus the Venge.
Yeah, I like this. I always like Venge Puck. I was thinking about this duo as your opener, and I can almost never disagree with it because it still has the versatility of puck can be mid, puck could be 3, puck could be puck can be 4, and I even had Mason play it safe lane in my game yesterday. I don't know if that's actually a thing or not, but who knows. The Vengeful Spirit, really good. Can be run core and support. So your opener, you still have so many options to go with it. And these two have great synergy together because you can force them to break the coil. That's just kind of broken. Anything that you can do, if you can force the enemy to break the coil, it's like an auto one team fight. It's so good.
No, it's true.
Coil's broken. Coil does way too much damage.
It does. It stuns for way too long. The Ags feels amazing. And also, it's just... when you think about the amount of gold that is now accessible to supports, and you think about what is the number one item supports usually want to go, it's going to be 4 stuff, right? And you don't even see it that often because usually you have this inherent combo like a Tiny or a Vengeful Spirit to snap the coil. But I feel like with the ease of access to gold that supports now have, it makes puck even better because they could just grab a 4 stuff and there's offensive use there that is definitely worth doing.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it just works incredibly well against the Magnus because he's more than likely going to kill himself because you can see the skewer animation and a quick puck can easily react with the Dream Call in time, especially once you reach level 10 and take the cast range talent.
The both Rubik and Magnus are very susceptible to this puck. So, well, Rubik does have a instant disable. Both of these heroes will fall over inside of a silence coil combination. As supports and offlaners. But I'm pretty certain that this mag, it might be mid again, but I kind of feel like they're going to switch it up and do safe lane. I don't know why. I don't know anything about Nemiga, so I don't know why I'm saying that. But but who knows? At least Gentlemen are going to take away the 2 cores that like the Lycan really messed them up.
Yes.
Hardcore.
And
so
the
I'm
Legion
glad they
even
took that away from Nefrit.
You rarely ever see the Legion get priority banned these days. This hero seems to have just fallen off the side of the cliff and become next to useless, but Chosen One definitely put it to good use.
Why'd they take Bloodseeker? Did they take Bloodseeker because they thought Gentlemen
were going to take it?
There was a chance that Gentlemen were going to pick it up here? Because, I mean, it is good versus Magnus, don't get me wrong. It's just, I'm very confused as to why you would pick your core right away in this situation.
When you have final
especially
pick.
Core like Bloodseeker that can be countered.
Yeah.
You have no information as to what Gentleman's doing with any of their lanes.
I'm wondering if there's got to be a third key to this, because if you actually look at what it seems they're doing right now is creating this hard amp lineup, right, with Bloodseeker and a Magnus, because you have the Empower and the Blood Rage as well. And then now you have the Frost Shield to protect when you Blood Rage that target as well. I feel like I'm trying to think what the farm pick could be here, right? Because
Yeah, is it just me or were they spam clicking Lich? Like they just didn't care what Gentleman was gonna pick. They were literally just like like Lich is okay against SF. Like it gives you SF is single target physical damage, and this is single target defense against physical damage. So it's a decent counter and stuff. It has really good synergy though with Bloodseeker and Magnus. That's why I think in a way they were already sold on Lich almost no matter what the hero was.
And I like the gentleman's responses to diversify their damage further, because you can see this element where gentleman could have pivoted harder into the physical and then the lich gets more value. Now they have a very even spread of damage between physical and magical for the first 25-30 minutes of gameplay. And the Nemiga worried that they're going to go harder in the physical. We'll get rid of the Terror Blade. Works very well with the Shadow Fiend because you get the Presence Aura affecting buildings. You also have the minus armor Avenge for heroes as well. And then TB just deletes every hero in 2 hits. I have to wonder what... I'm going to be very interested in Nemiga's farm pick, just because I don't feel like this works together on its own. There has to be something that brings it together. And I'm wondering if it's something like an Omni Knight, for example.
I'm trying to think what they need because they have initiation out of 2 of their cores, but not like this overwhelming blink disable.
No.
But at the same time, so I would like to see another form of initiation, but I'm not sure if that initiation really covers some of their bases, because they still kind of need something that ensures overwhelming team fights. So that's why I kind of like your idea of Omni Knight. They need something that makes sure that they don't get overwhelmed against the Brewmaster Coil. And that's what I see right now. I see Gentlemen being able to start a fight by coiling you, pop Primal Split, and you've lost that fight. Because those 2 abilities are such overwhelming team fight that it's like, near impossible to beat.
Yeah.
Right? Especially in the early stages of team fights. So
I am a little bit worried about their ability to pick something like Omni Knight now. But now that you see the Morphling, right, it's just like you don't want to give Heavenly Grace over to a lineup with like Shadow Fiend, for example.
Yeah. No, not like with the Morphling pick, it definitely changes a lot of ideas. Because now you need something that is better initiation, I think. You need something that will get on top of SF and Morphling. And you have to think about your matchup against the Morphling.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, on the lanes quite well against Morphling.
I love this idea of just another hero that...
Tanking?
Yeah, I was about to say something that piles on, because the thing that I will say with Brewmaster, and this has been one of the big underwhelming factors for it, is quite often you get to about 20 minutes, you do a split, and instead of running, the enemy team goes, wait, we can just hit him. And they just delete the Brewlings very quickly, and then ruin the hero. So something that can fight very quickly and easily, like a Sand King that covers some of your weaknesses, that could be the way to go.
Yeah. That's like one idea, right? Because Blink Stun into Bloodright is a good way to threaten all 3 of these cores. All 3 of these cores, like, they have sort of a setup time, and they want to be able to get you Night Stalker.
That
okay,
works
kind
too.
of similar idea, right? In that it's an aggressive hero that gets on top of these cores and limits them with a silence or a stun.
Yeah, and that screws a lot of these heroes as well, right? Because Puck doesn't build anything to counter that AoE silence. Morphling doesn't really want to rush a BKB. Shadow Fiend, sure, will get one eventually, but Brewmaster especially. Usually you see that this is the person that needs to build the Vlads, the Helmet Dominator. They can't afford to rush a BKB, but Night Stalker might force that.
I think Night Stalker is underpicked right now. This hero feels really good. His stats are so strong that his daytime, because they reverted the 50% void damage, which was honestly, it was so dumb. But now it feels like void actually does too much during daytime. I always feel like I'm very strong as Night Stalker, no matter what part of the game I'm in, daytime or nighttime. It doesn't matter. The one bit of a downside is is that Night Stalker comes with a very obvious cooldown and a very obvious downtime. And what I liked about Sand King is that you can always fight with Sand King because you
Yeah.
don't necessarily need Epicenter because his toolkit is a lot more about Burrow Strike and Sandstorm. So you can kind of go, go, go because Gentlemen have this lineup that is just dirty. If they get off their combination, you don't have a prayer in winning, right? If they get off the coil into swap into also the AoE fear of Shadow Fiend forcing you to run out of the coil and breaking it into primal split, overwhelming you, tossing one person up in the air, getting a lot of damage and disables in. That's just an insane amount. Like you can't win that. So you need to be able to just constantly attack Gentlemen. You want to put them off kilter and keep hitting them over and over again. And if you do lose one of those team fights where they use their magical combo, you need to bounce right back once your people are up again and go fight them while their cooldowns are down. Take advantage of that downtimer. And Night Stalker doesn't quite have that super fast pace during daytime, but it's still really strong for other reasons. I think that Night Stalker is like incredibly good versus SF because he just runs at that hero and outright clicks them a lot of the time. Because in a man fight, you have more armor and you're a lot tankier than SF. So you just challenge him to a man fight. If he pops BKB, you're popping your ultimate and flying at him.
And I also love the fact that this feels like the type of game where Nefrit can simply rupture the SF, and that's all that matters when you get these big team fights, right? Because if you keep him far away, you mentioned how strong the Requiem combo can be. You just keep him on the side of the fight, you rupture him, and then you're like, all right, we're just going to fight over here. You can watch us from afar, but you're the kid that's not welcome around this campfire. And it gets a little bit hard from there on out. The other thing I will say that I agree with the Night Stalker point that it should be used more, and it's underrated right now, because the thing that you need to consider is the outpost timings, right? Like every 10 minutes towards the end of nighttime. Usually teams rotate and they fight before daytime arrives, which is when Night Stalker is strongest. And because of the amount of time between each outpost mattering, you have Dark Ascensions for every sort of those engagements, right? So you just wait until the end. If you're still fighting when daytime arrives, you pop Dark Ascension and you should be able to win the fight at that point. So it'll be interesting. I think the big ones to watch here actually are going to be the Night Stalker, and on the other side, I expect it to be the Puck. Those are going to be the two playmakers for each side of this game.
Yeah, I mean Puck, like they have so many combinations with the Puck that they sort of have to have a decent game for him. And he's also playing 4-position Puck, so we'll see. Like if his lane goes poorly, then his Blink Dagger is going to be delayed, and then their whole combination becomes a lot worse. Mid lane I think is I thought it was okay for Magnus, but with you having your own courier in the mid lane and stuff, and how you're always able to funnel regen, it's just crazy how SF just constantly spams raises over and over and over again.
That's true. You do have, I feel like you have a slightly easier time as the Magnus here because you have the ability to stack the camp on the left and farm the camp on the right. So that might be an element. If he utilizes that with the Shockwave, he could do that and get a bit more gold than the SF can. But both these heroes, they have no qualms about just farming. And as I'm talking about that, in the bot lane, they find a pick off on a BZZ at level 1. Which I can see why now that I just clicked on BZZ's build. He went for the Cinder Brew level 1 to try and just maximize the potential Chew has.
Yeah, everyone's doing this lately.
Yeah, I can understand why, right? Like, it's Clap, they're already too close. Drunken Brawl's cooldown is too high. But this is the counter argument. They just do this, and I think BZZ's just dead again. That's a long walk back to lane without boots or windlace.
Stay frosty.
Well, I don't have any analysis for that. That's just terrible.
Yeah,
that's just garbage play.
I don't understand what he thought he was doing. I don't think he even understands what he thought he was doing. And now he will try and understand how Brewmaster works from behind on lane. And the sample groups recently is it doesn't. It really doesn't.
I don't know how I'm supposed to like look at that and not flame the ever living shit out of you. Like, what excuse am I supposed to make for a pro player at that point in time? The lizard people made him do it, you know? Like, that was just like the most trash thing I've seen And we've watched a lot of 2-0s so far in this tournament, so there have been a lot of stomps, and that was probably the worst thing I've seen so far.
You're probably breaking his heart here, Cap. Maybe he was just a fan of you and he wanted you to have a quick day so you can get a nice, easy day of rest. It's the only thing I got right now. At least if we had to find a kill in Fervian, but who cares? The Bloodseeker just has a free lane now. Also, top, Chosen One has 5 denies already against this Morphling.
Yeah, you've got really good base stats on Night Stalker. Your animation just feels excellent. You have a Quelling Blade. Your base stats are good enough that you can actually deal with a full agility morphed Morphling. And of course, he's not going to be fully agility morphed because you have double nukes on the side of Nemiga. You have Fade Bolt and Void. So especially as you get the higher levels too, like he just can't go all in on that. So he's going to be sitting about the same damage as you, and you've got the Quelling Blade advantage.
And also, you can't really leverage
this matchup
the
so
bench.
many times, by the way.
Yeah, I can tell.
playing
You already
this matchup.
know Gasm on this, I can tell. You're like, Morphling pickers, easy game win. It does feel like a hero that is, in like 90% of games right now, too slow. You needed a lot of space
Morphling?
creation. Yeah, you need
Or
a lot of
Night
space.
Stalker?
Morphling.
Oh, okay.
I think Night Stalker's more easily draftable than Morphling right now.
Yeah. I just don't. The weird part was we had this entire meta where Morphling was only being picked
Yeah.
because it was paired with Earthshaker, right? And I don't think a whole lot changed about Morphling.
No, it's just, I think the speed at which the game is played at is the problem, right? Like, usually you have to be active 10, 20 minutes, and if a Morphling's sitting there going, well, I'm farming Ags, then he's not ready. He won't be ready at the crucial moments, basically.
No, I totally agree with you.
So,
Well, it looks like this lane's going a lot better. This bottom lane. They push back the Bloodseeker. It looks like BZZ's going to be able to hit CS for free and stuff. That was just a incredibly terrible start.
yeah, it's like, I don't know, maybe BZZ, he's just feeling confident. He's like, I can handicap myself. He definitely done that, as Nefrit will beat him towards 6 at this rate unless they do something. The only good thing for Gentlemen is this mid lane. The mid lane is going pretty damn well for 19 team.
Oh, I forgot. They also have a double nuke lane at top when they have a Bloodseeker at bottom. Right, so they can always bring somebody below 75%.
And that is a little bit worrying because we've seen how easily they can casually run down BZZ. Oh, this Corey snipes. They at least pick it up, and it looks like Puck can't kill it off. Instead, he might be brought down as the Illusion Orb coming off cooldown, and the Waning Rift that really shouldn't have that ability does. No deny for you, they say, as Nefrit does get the final tap. I love seeing that as well. Because Pucks, they always want to look for these Corey snipes as it's so easy. High base damage, double mobility. You know they're going to commit onto your Corys. Does it feel like people still aren't really adjusting to the new Lich, maybe? Because Sinister Gaze was never leveled early on. But now with the mana drain and the time it lasts, it feels like a good spell.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Like, the style of playing Lich is a lot different now. People are so used to Frost Shield being spammed and leveled up first that now everyone goes Frost Blast level 1 and Sinister Gaze sometimes 2. That, yeah, I think it definitely catches some people off guard.
PCC?
He can commit.
They go for it. This chance, though, saves his life. They have to respect that Chu is at level 4, and they don't know if he's gone for 2 points in Illusory, 2 in the Wayne and Rift yet.
Yeah. And you're winning your lane as this Bloodseeker. There's no need to, again, go for that kind of risk. I was looking at it, it was like, he's got 10 magic stick charges. I thought you could just dive for it, but it's honestly the same. Like, killing heroes is not that much of a difference than pushing them back to base. Like, the lost time in lane really affects some heroes, and they're going to come back with less experience. You're going to get your level 6 faster. That's when you can really make sure you kill somebody. So,
Exactly. Especially heroes that are so reliant on level 6 like Brewmaster. Them suffering like this is actually better than killing them altogether. Even more so when you're Bloodseeker, where it's like, okay, if he's walking back to base, that's all the time in the world where I'm moving at the speed of a race car, and I'm just able to CS quicker. Oh, it's Chu. He actually gets a good snipe out, because that was going to be the treads. But Nefrit's already at 6, so it won't slow down him too much. And now, if Brewmaster... I feel like if Chu comes past, or VCC rather comes past this point, he dies. Every time. Now that the Rupture is available. Surprised there's not been any more action on top. Seems like Chosen One's been left alone, and they've just stuck Astral mid while Mag farms up the jungle now.
Yeah, it's good enough. Like, Night Stalker doesn't need you. In fact, he, in this point, doesn't want you. If you can't get a kill, he doesn't really want you around, because he wants the solo experience.
Yeah, the sooner you get to 6, the better, as Dark Ascension is a lot of damage.
And soon as Morphling gets Morbid Mass, they are going to try and kill Chosen One here.
Waveform through, and that's the commitment PO should not have done. Rubik is going to complete the TP. However, no. Was that? I think that was Lich. Yeah, Lich was coming first. Instead, he hangs around bot. And meanwhile, they'll just run down, kill off Vanscore, ignoring PO in the bot lane. They tried for the kill, but BZZ's too tanky.
It looks like they're trying to make 2 plays at once, but...
3 players at once. Mello is able to skewer away. His attempt to try and play around SF backfired quickly.
Yeah, something went wrong there, right? Because they ruptured BZZ at bottom lane.
Yeah.
But they didn't actually do a whole lot of damage to him, so...
And I think if Rubik comes in first top, they possibly kill PO. Because he's already committed the waveform. He doesn't have boots and he's under tower. So, a little bit of miscommunication there. Missing out on a potentially big kill. The biggest one they could get right now is this SF, who's non-stop farming. 3.8k net worth right now.
Yeah, that'll be on second nighttime. I'm going to be looking for Chosen One to hunt the SF a lot, because that's before SF has his BKB, so he's really susceptible to your Void still, and you beat him in a man fight. It's like the best timing you have against a Shadow Fiend. He is going to go the Earn build, so he's definitely looking to be sort of a tempo player. He knows that he has this Magnus, who is going to turn into sort of a hard carry, and his Bloodseeker needs a fair amount of farm, so he doesn't need to try and go for a farming build like the Aghanim Scepter gives you. That's the beauty of the Aghanim Scepter. It's amazing team fight, yes, but it's also really good for farming.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
You know, it's an AoE nuke. Like, that's always going to help you.
Like, we were often seeing these carry Night Stalkers like, oh, this looks bad. It's taking him so long. The moment he picks up the Ags, you just watch him gather gold by the thousands. You're like, okay.
Yep.
How did this happen? And also at the same time,
good play
you
by
can
Gentlemen, leaving the safe lane so early. It's still nighttime. Just swap lanes, group up, and trade towers. And so you're kind of, in a way, wasting the Night Stalker's potency. His nighttime feels ineffective right now.
Yeah, and you guarantee you'll get an outpost because you move bot. Night Stalker's not playing around there, and if Nemiga are likely to try and attack you on an outpost, it'll be wherever Chosen One is. I was just going to say at the same time, like, the other nice thing for Night Stalker is depending on how he moves around the map, he'll just get some rapid farming out of the Empower, which Mello will always be willing to give over. Also helps in the team fights, right? With the Dark Ascension, that's a lot of additional damage. And it's not often you get that with the Mag anymore, because they really desperately wanted to move this hero away from this kind of like little buff bitch, right? He was just this person who came in, used Empower on everyone, and walked away. They want him to be a hero again, and he's definitely achieved that. Dream Call. All right, this is looking a little bit disjointed from Gentlemen.
That was, oh god, this is so bad. This is so bad.
Cap, help me. I don't understand what they're thinking. I don't think they're thinking.
So they're not gonna lose anybody, right? But what's terrible about it is they use Primal Split, they use Dream Coil. Remember that like timing we were talking about of like, you need to win fights with these abilities, because otherwise when it's on cooldown you're gonna get run at it and stuff. Like, that was the first showing of that. If I'm in Nemiga, I'm immediately smoking up, and I'm just gonna go and fight whoever I run into.
They're doing that.
It looks like, sadly for them, they're gonna run into Morphling, who I have a feeling they're not gonna be able to kill because it's daytime.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And if you Dark Ascension, then it's obvious at that point Morphling will just immediately waveform further away. Fan score? Okay, there you go. Sport Duo should be able to find this kill. Sinister Gaze drags him in, and with the slows out, the Magic Missile won't save his life, or will it? They throw out the Chain Frost, and what's this? Van score. Well, he will still go down, and PO chases in. Change it into the Rubik. You need to be careful, though, because you share that health pool now. Not separated anymore, because that was busted. Are they trying again on Mello? It feels like they're over-obsessing with the Magnus now. Like, he's worth a lot of gold, but it feels like the Bloodseeker would be a much, much easier kill to achieve if you see him.
Yeah, he's a really scary threat because he's a lot of similarities to Sven in that he's big and tanky, and he's a carry that's farming quickly. And that gets into your head. You're like, oh, we should gank that guy. But he's also so tanky that you could very easily overextend yourself, especially against a lineup that has Bloodseeker and Nightstalker on it. So in Mellow Jewel, he just needs to play defensively around DP points, and Gentlemen can't really go on him. And if they do, they're probably going to lose that fight. And then on top of that, it's, you know, he's a Sven, but he's also this gigantic team fighter. Because he has reverse polarity as opposed to Stormhammer.
Yeah, and it's just more rapid as well. Like a Sven needs a Blink Dagger, whereas this guy's going to build the Ags eventually. It is a better Sven and a better anti-mage. Dark Ascension in the bot lane. Chosen One's been targeted for Vanskool. Got to back away. So far, no value out the Dark Ascension. Meanwhile, in the top lane, they find a pick off onto Rubik. Chu will be able to move away as Melo has this Invis rune as a hunting. They have the sentry down. They know he's here. Cure through. He says, I'm taking the core at least. Nothing else. That's coming with me. That was an odd Dark Ascension play, though.
Yeah, probably thought to himself, like he really wants to. You want to be able to use Dark Ascension in that second daytime at least once to get a kill on like a support or somebody real quickly. Because what he's looking to do, he's trying to farm up his Spirit Vessel as quick as possible. So he's being a lot more AFK farmy than some Night Stalkers would be at this point in time. He's also trying to get his level so he can get to like level 10 is really big because you have maxed out your passive as well as your void, and then on top of that you get a level 10 talent. That's really good, 200 health. So there's like a lot of reasons he's just kind of playing farmy, so he kind of forced that a little bit too much. He's thinking to himself like, some bonus farm. I'm just going to kill this Vengeful Spirit and then go back to hitting creeps with Dark Ascension. But sadly, couldn't get it.
And I guess it also has an element to do with the supports, right? Like, these are defensive type supports. They're not able to actively set up plays for you, so you just feel like your Dark Ascension can be used for any general pick-off. It'll help you a little. You're not ready to fight until they have around level 10 and start to get some kind of damage spike potential.
Yeah. He was probably also thinking about his charges. Like, he just wants a free pick-off that'll finally give him charges, so when he does pick up his Spirit Vessel in 90 gold, then he will have a way to threaten the Morphling during that second nighttime. So it's pretty much coming on just as about perfectly, right?
Yeah, you can already see SF trying to go towards the BKB Nexus halfway, but Hyo has gone for this high-risk choice. Going in the E-Blade first, this could backfire very quickly. It definitely feels like when we see a big team fight, it's going to be who jumps first that matters here. Right now, Vanskool has completed his TP top. Nemiga were quick to try and jump on that outpost. However, they do back off for the moment. And if they see that both the other cores are showing on lanes, this should be the moment to make a move. Instead, they smoke up. They're rotating towards the mid lane. They want to try and pick off the SF. They have the means to grab
SF was just farming really aggressively in that medium camp area. Gentlemen as a whole, like they aggressively TP'd into that top lane. We knew that there was actually more people of Nemiga there, but Nemiga was the one who backed down.
It's the deceptive part, right? Because there's a few trees around this outpost that people can TP at, and you can't see them properly when you initially run in. So they don't want to risk it. It should be the moment where they just try and claim bot outposts, as no one is showing on the lane.
They gotta invade.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
They're
Like,
waiting.
they need to invade with the smoke and get aggressive vision down. They're not.
It's like they're waiting
I don't know why they're playing this
for
jungle area so much.
for SF and Morphling to come back to their jungle again. Like, that might happen, but here you go.
Okay, they got him.
Morph shows up. They just clip him the Crippling Fear and drag him into his death. Ghost Scepter won't change it. The Bloodright gets the kill, and they ping him out. They saw BCC. He's got the split. Doesn't really want to have to use it like this, though. But the Rupture is out. They're going to try and force it. They're just probing from the side. He's going to go deeper. There it is. Bloodright out too late. Now they'll throw forward onto Astral. So Rubik might be a casualty of war here, but that's a split committed. You still lose your Morphling, and all you get out of it is a Rubik after rotating multiple heroes.
Fortunately, the Morphling came back to lane. Because just think if Morphling, at that time, the triangle was free. He could have just backed off to farming the triangle. That would have been so much wasted time.
19
Nice kill, though.
Beautiful the way they just wait around. Like, they expect they're going to overextend it, because this is the thing. Gentlemen brings so many heroes this lane, they kind of have to push it in at this stage. And now, they'll lose more. Vanskool will throw out a stun. But they will hold on to theirs. He doesn't have a TP anyway. So no escape for Vanskool. Just tanks himself up to waste enough time that at least people can try and make a play elsewhere. As Melo is being whittled down. Doesn't have an easy escape. He breaks the tree line, and PO can't find him anymore. The pings are coming out. Waveform through. He does get the final right click on the way past. And Astral steals the wrong... Oh, wait, no, he actually gets the thing he wants. Attribute shift.
Yeah.
You take that.
It's a great pickup. You just buff up your strength a whole bunch, so now you're quite tanky to a bunch of nukes. Sure, you'll die to right-click physical damage, but that
was
doesn't
always
happen
going to
very
happen.
often.
Like, it's always going to happen eventually, right? It's like, that doesn't change the nature of being a Rubik in this game.
For
But
sure.
the bulk feels pretty damn good. It's not like you need the attack speed.
I still feel very strongly that they need to smoke up and get vision in the enemy jungle areas. I think Morphling and SF are having too free a games, farming jungles and then collecting creeps that are pushed into their towers.
That's the big worry. Like, you have these hyper-aggressive heroes, the Bloodseeker and the Night Stalker, and all your plays so far have more or less been on your side of the map, and you've only taken one tower from the side of Gentlemen. Which is really worrying. Like, especially when you look at their draft, like, they've got SF, they've got the Morphling. What they want is more of the map to farm. So the best thing we can do with these very aggressive early heroes is take control of their jungle.
Who's gonna blink first? Is it Night Stalker is finally gonna be saying, screw it, I'm gonna farm these creeps? Or is Puck finally gonna come out of his hiding hole?
Chu's got more to lose. He has a lot of gold. And a decent amount of XP up at level 12 already. Gridley gets his farm on the way out. So it looks like they're going to try and pressure the tier 2 top.
BKB is up on SF, so Night Stalker missed his really big window against Shadow Fiend. They killed him once off of that gank in bottom lane, but...
That's not really the way you want to play against SF, right? You're looking for 2 or 3 pickoffs before he's online, because you know he's always going to have more gold than you, so he's just the bank. It's like a bank being guarded by I don't know, an 8-year-old fat security guard that can't pull his gun out. Easiest robbery of your life. Nefri is farming very close, but they just can't do anything now that he has the BKB. That's one good side, at least. The Bloodseeker now has this. He should be able to farm a bit more greedily without punishment. As there isn't really...
He's got E-Blade on Morphling too. Jesus.
Yeah, they went full in. This is what I was saying, though. Like, this can backfire, right? Like, this is playing to win for sure. But if they jump on Morph first, you better hope to hell that Avengers in the neighborhood or you're just dead.
It just bothers me that they got these items
without
so
pressure.
Freely. Yeah. You know, that being said, like, I just wanted them to be a little bit more shut down. This is not that bad for Nemiga because they've been farming really well on Magnus and Bloodseeker. Both of those cores scale better than your old ideas of Magnus and Bloodseeker. Again, Magnus is like a hard carry now. Bloodseeker is a 2 position that scales very well into the late game. So there is no rush for Nemiga necessarily. I just wanted the Night Stalker and supports to accomplish a little bit more. It's a little bit scary that they already have their BKB and E-Blade and they're ready to 5-man against you. Now a lot of this is going to come down to Mellow, and whether or not, by the way, they see this Roshan, which they won't.
No, Puck was pushing on the mid lane. They just assumed the same thing as always. SF and Morphling must be in the primary jungle, and it ripples back to your point about getting deep wards. If you actually get a ward in their jungle, you know that they're not farming those areas, so it just becomes so obvious to you at that stage that they're in the Roche pit. And you have good Roche fight, right? You've got the Magnus. If you RP into a Blood Right, that's 3 heroes that can't do anything. Bit worrying. And Gentlemen starting to get a little bit of an advantage here. Now they have the Aegis on the Morphling. This E-Blade build doesn't really hurt him at all. There's no way you easily jump on him. But maybe soon. Finally, they've stuck Chosen One in lane. Thank God. I've been looking back on this guy a few times, and he's always sitting in the tree line. He needs to be getting creeps because this Blink Dagger, he's been sitting on about 1,000 gold for a long time.
Yeah, he's the one who needs to be able to cast Silence and blink on top of the Morphling, hit him with the Spirit Vessel. And even if you don't kill him, you're going to kill his team fight contribution, at least, right? And the rest of your team's going to funnel in. They're going to rupture the Shadow Fiend and, you know, run at him, RPM and whatever. And that's the other core that's going to be dealt with and taken out of the team fight. So I agree with you. I think the fact that they weren't able to accomplish more but simultaneously we're spending so much downtime not hitting creeps and just watching creep waves meet and standing there in the jungle. Kind of sucks. But you know, it's third daytime, so time to recover that farm a bit.
Makes him sound a bit like someone on a diet who goes out for a meal, right? Like, oh yeah, you just found out that you have an issue with you can't have salt anymore. And you just look at all these delicious salted meals going past trays towards people's tables, and you're just sitting there watching like a very upset puppy. That's kind of how watching this Night Stalker felt for me in the last 5 minutes. Never a kill, never a creep.
Yeah. A very upset puppy, huh?
Very upset puppy. I mean, if you zoom in on him, right, he has to look at a little sadness as he's frozen like this. And he's back to being absolutely ugly. Moving away. Unpausers do that to people, you know? Looking good in the photos, he's going to look good in the video. And Vanscore, he doesn't want to be in this video. The Dream Call isn't really going to help them out at all. Instead, they jump on the puck to see the bigger target, the Blood Right coming through as well. And their science for low enough. Morphling's going to give over this Aegis pretty easily at this rate with the Spirit Vessel out. They're just overwhelmed the force of Gentlemen as they go a little bit too far. And BZZ's split is being just ignored so far. Rupture on the side. Nefrit will move away with his BKB. 19 team charged up the Requiem, which scares away the Night Stalker. Will protect PO. Nefrit still hunting. Can't see him anymore. The waveform will get him out. And meanwhile on the back line, BZZ able to snipe out Furbian. The Skewer is there to stop Brewmaster's escape, so he will still go down. Morphling, however, barely gets out alive.
Chosen One did not man up enough. He had plenty of HP. What are you backing down for? Just stay on top of that Morphling. There's something about communication that wasn't totally great there in that team fight. He needed somebody to tell him. Like, Nefrit needed to be able to let him know, like, I'm good, keep chasing. Because if he just takes, like, literally half a second more, but I feel like there was, like, 2 solid seconds of him, like, you could definitely man up a lot more on this Morphling. Just go for it. If he does that, then they stop the Morphling's TP. They stop the Morphling's TP, he's going to die, and that's a massive kill that they just get for themselves. But, hey, it's a one-team fight. They're going to be able to get Blink Dagger. Chosen One's going to be pretty happy with that. Unfortunately, he didn't get Spirit Vessel charges from that last fight, so they're going to need to find a pick-off before their next big team fight, right? Because he won't have an answer to Morphling otherwise.
Luckily for them, the split was used. However, it's going to be a cooldown 40 seconds, so they'd have to move fast to achieve this. And I think you're right in that, but it went both ways. Like, I saw the same thing from Nefrit. It felt like there was a call to back up as soon as he retreats from the fight with the SF. When in reality, Nefrit, he could have connected onto the Morphling, applied more pressure, and the SF still would have been stuck out of range and ruptured. I think he was worried about the Requiem, but he had his 10-second BKB, so he's never going to get hit by it. A bit of a misplay. All in all.
Man, 19's closing in on Satanic already.
Wow. And he's getting ever closer to that level 20, which we'll probably see the damage per soul, at which stage you're going to have to actually have some hard lockdown for him. You're going to have to commit the RP to get the SF kill. Vanscore, however, you don't need much to get the kill for. I like that from Mello. It's like, no, that's my kill. You cannot have this.
Secure him away. BZZ?
Big kill thing, get it.
He does have Primal Split
no,
here.
He's not
I don't think
off.
he should use it.
Requiem comes out from Astral to ensure he's not getting off. He even gets the new steal in. This time will be the Drunken Brawler to move forward a little bit quicker. Gentlemen did rotate this, but Dark Ascension is still running, so they'll back up. And I feel like Nemiga should be doing the same considering they're shown heroes in the bot lane.
So when you get Requiem, you, like, the fear is an inherent part of it, right?
Yes.
So you actually get the fear on Rubik, and then that gets buffed up by your debuff amplification.
Yep.
Of Arcane Supremacy. That is actually a really sick steal now. Like, before it was kind of okay, but because it wasn't a disable, and it's a channeling nuke, it was like, yeah, it's nice, but not usually the best ability.
Huck. Oh, the 4 stuff doesn't get him out in time. And they got the damage to finish him off. The Fade Bolt, it should be good enough. There's the lift. And this time, it's actually going to be Loser Orb snatched away by Astral. Much better than the Drunken Brawler.
For sure.
But they're looking to fight, but Furby's waiting here. BKB comes out, Nefrit, Rupture as well. He needs to move away. RP onto 2. Ping pong time, and they're just dead. They get baited in. Nefrit, just, that was living life on the edge.
Mello is sick on Magnus, by the way. That was the second RP that I've seen where he has a very clear understanding of just how far he can pull people. And he did that to the Morphling. He pulled him so far because I think RP is actually a little bit wider. It's like circle is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's a bit deceptive. Oh, Chosen One jumping in. BZZ wants to use that split, but they're already retreating. They, however, do need to get Chosen One out. Dreamcore will be committed. They'll snap it straight away without hesitation. Trying to move away. The Requiem forces him the wrong way, though, so he still does off. To get everyone else out. I say that's the other thing as well. Like, the way Nefrit has been playing has been really impressive. Because if he doesn't hang around next to the Morphling like that after rupturing him, Morph probably just retreats a little. They don't get the double RP, right? But he lives life right on the edge, though. And it reminds me a lot of last game, right? He understood the parameters of his hero, and he was very good at kind of flexing that to the maximum.
I hate seeing Mindbreaker.
You mean Gamebreaker?
Yeah, that item bothers me, man. I mean, it's just like such a surprise to all of a sudden get silenced.
Yeah.
Which, you know, BZZ has no chance of living. For multiple reasons.
Yeah, it's like it didn't make a difference there, but you can see scenarios where for BCZ especially, he's going to like, all right, Primal split, and why have I been silenced? The Blood Right is still on the ground. It hasn't even gone off yet.
Yeah.
It's pretty dumb, especially on Blink initiators. Just being able to get in and instantly silence, especially heroes like Puck, as well as the Brewmaster in this game. Even the Morphling as well, who still doesn't have a BKB. I'm trying to think of like, if there's... I don't know how I feel. Like, would I say that Mindbreaker is more ridiculous than Titan Sliver? Probably not, but it is definitely up there.
Yeah, both of them have a hidden element of like you can win a team fight because of that item and not knowing it's on somebody.
Yes.
Right? Like you drop your chain stun because of the status resistance that you didn't know he picked up, whereas like, you know, you didn't know this guy was going to silence you, so you died. Like those are both kind of shitty scenarios.
Sounds cool. It's going to be brought down. They reveal the orc that Miller picked up. I think like, what's the other
I will
one?
say,
Oh, go ahead.
Gentleman does a good job of bleeding away support kills.
Yes.
And not getting their cores caught. Both 19 and Pio have done a reasonable job.
Interesting choice by Nemiga to commit the Dark Ascension. I think they just spot Puck on the mid wave. They are getting ever closer to him. Got the blink. They see a bigger target. They go for BCC instead. They'll slow him down. Buyback comes out. They'll retreat. But Dream Call's there. However, Chosen One can get on the high ground. I don't think you can pursue this. RP coming up. Mellow again on point here. Yes, you get the split out, but you're going to lose two. And now you can no longer fight. PO will run for the high hills. The BKB is still running. The Rupture comes out on the sides. They'll chase down Vanscore. That should be his dieback, as he cannot get away. He'll just try and waste Nefrit's time. But on the other side, BZZ, he's in trouble as well. Throw out a rock. There's too many heroes here. They'll overwhelm the silence coming out. He knows he's going down. 4 heroes down the side of Gentleman. The only good side for you right now is that Nemiga do not have control of the creep waves. They're all pushed out.
I think this Magnus is... I think it might actually be the hardest carry in this game. And at very least, it is one of the harder counters to Shadow Fiend. Very similar to the way the Viper is dealt with so easily by Lycan. This Magnus, you know, a big tanky hero who's not exposed, like he doesn't fall over if SF gets a dataless crit on him. And, you know, he has a BKB piercing disable. He's going to have this, he has this Orchid, which I always love the Bloodthorn build on Magnus because it feels good one way or another, right? You RP somebody and they don't have BKB on, Bloodthorn them, they're dead, 100%. And if you RP them and they have BKB on, well, great, their BKB's just been wasted, and they're going to take a lot of physical damage. They're going to run away from you afterwards, and, you know, at some point, BKB is going to wear out. I think Magnus is just this insane hero, and I don't really think Morphling can compete, like, on a 1-to-1 scale, like, in some sort of 1v1, 70 minutes in, like, maybe Morphling does beat Magnus, but in an all-around team fight sense, just look at the difference, right? Like, this Morphling, he goes in, and he shotguns one person down. Wha-bam! That guy's dead. Magnus does kind of the same thing, except for he has this AoE disable, where... You know, when he RPs, maybe he's only catching one person, but he could also be catching 3. And all 3 of those people are going to die because he does, like, 2,000 physical damage in the space of that, you know, 3-second stun that he's got.
Not to mention the amplification is going to ripple over, right? If you blood form one target and hit them, you're going to hit that extra cleave damage out onto the additional targets. It's just, it's such a complementary item. And I think you're right. Like, you look at Gentleman's lineup, and this just seems to be the recurring issue of Brewmaster picks all the time. If that is the hero you're relying on to be like a staple point in your team fight, it falls over in an instant. Like, you're at a stage in the game where if they see a brew split, they either ignore it or kill it. They never run away from it.
And this is the thing where Nemiga, like, their patience and just like not trying to play overly aggressive did go in their favor. He does recognize the Aghanim Scepter.
Yep.
Free doesn't break it.
They failed there. They'll swap him in again, and that should be 2.5 damage, but the Glimmer Cape comes out. Trying to move away. The net's going to come into effect, though. They did activate the Dark Ascension, but they're too late to get across.
Oh, Dark Ascension being used and the Bloodseeker being dead. I wonder if there's any timing that Gentlemen can try and take Roshan.
I think they're a little bit hesitant because they did use the double swap, right? So you don't have a save, and if you go in, you're at a stage where Nemiga will just run straight for your base. Also, Mello has RP again. That's the biggest worry. We saw what it done last fight, and you have to find a way to address that. You can't blindly fight into it.
Well, it's daytime now, and they are going to go for it. Okay. I think this is the right idea, for sure. You want to try and force this buyback out of the Bloodseeker, but if you get caught in an RP and then Bloodseeker buys back, you're in trouble.
And the scout, there's the RP coming in, the blood falling out already, the BKB, so they can't interrupt him. No bad score! He just gets killed on this side. Both cores die alongside him, and Roche has been secured, but it is not for Gentlemen. Chu being spotted out by Astral. He'll be able to escape, but not for long. The blood form's in effect, and Mello is just asserting dominance across this entire game. On the side, they'll find a bonus kill. BZZ, what are you doing here, buddy? This is the wrong neighborhood. Spirit Vessel out, chase down. They've still got the blink if they need to block him. And while that's happening, Roche is being completed by Mello. In fact, I think you just wait for the Seeker, right? Because you don't really need it as the Magnus, but he'll take it anyway.
You might be right in that he's probably never going to die.
Better safe than sorry,
Again,
then.
I'm not sure if this Bloodseeker is going to die again in this game.
It took
now
them a while.
I think they just stay 5-man from here on out. They don't risk any picks.
No. And at the same time, like, it took a while to kill the Bloodseeker when you had all 5 heroes there and he had no assistance. So, lift out, fan score. Just a casualty of war at this point. Luckily for him, he only needs 35 seconds to respawn. Unluckily for him, that's probably 2 lanes by the time you're alive.
I like the Nightstalker's choice. I always like talent choices that I think make sense that I wouldn't go. I would not have gone the movement speed. I would have 100% gone the damage because it's 40 damage.
It's tempting.
You know? But the movement speed, 35 movement speed, that makes more sense in this game where his importance in this game is getting good crippling fears on people and playing and forcing BKBs out and playing the fight in and out. He doesn't need damage.
No.
Right? That is entirely on his Bloodseeker and mostly on his Magnus. They don't have any damage issues whatsoever. So
it's also, in this type of game, you know there's 3 heroes that are unlikely to get BKBs, because Puck, you don't really want to build a BKB. Venge, you will not build a BKB. And BCZ never has the money to build a BKB. So you know that that talent choice isn't going to backfire in like 5 minutes time. Dark Ascension. This is the runaway moment, gentlemen, and you need to run away quicker. 19 team will go for the TP out after using the BKB, and look at the rainbow TPs coming in. Rupture's going to be thrown out of PO. He still doesn't use the BKB. He should have just went for that in the TP play, but now it may be too late. He stands and fights, but the BKB from Chosen One means he won't be shotgunned down. PO go for that TP out. The bash is going to be there, though, and the Morphling is dead for 70. Who needs RP? Just build a basher, lol. They just need to get creeps.
BKB teleport.
Yeah, he could have done it straight away. That's the part I was looking at. Like, well, he has a TP. Carry greed, I guess.
Yeah, it really was. He was thinking to himself, like, oh, he chased the SF, or SF used BKB. If I use BKB and teleport out here as well, then they're just going to go high ground while we don't have a magic meter. And that's fair enough. Like, that is a very fair assessment that you would have probably lost the game off of BKBs being on cooldown just as easily. So
Magic Missile, but Vanscore is now going to be silenced up from the Sister Gaze Dragon, and Requiem will scare them all away. I don't know if you can find this right now without your BKB. He's coming off cooldown in 5 seconds, but they're jumping first. And Magnus still with the TD runner, forcing him to fight. The Satanic won't protect him because the RP comes out, and he's just dead. Moving across, the Fear affecting on the puck. Once again, Rubik on point with the steals. Chu does get silenced up, skewer through, slow down as well. That is a dead Fairy Dragon for 70 seconds. GG gets called. We do not have a single team invited to the playoffs continuing through in this playoffs. I feel like I need to just keep highlighting it. It's just brutal.
I mean, the CIS scene is volatile, to say the least. And it's not surprising to me one bit that the playoff invite teams are the teams that that fail to make it further. Teams like OG, Nemiga, like they really impressed me. Like I harped on the whole like they didn't play as active as I wanted to when it came to their vision and stuff, but they had a strong understanding of their lineup. They knew that like Magnus just needed to keep farming and eventually he will win this game. They obviously have a strong read on the meta when it comes to drafting as well, because they beat OG Seed. They beat this team, Gentlemen, by outdrafting them. They also, like, it's a little cheap to say that they have strong drafting when really they just understand what the strong heroes are of the patch. Like, I think Magnus is a game winner. It's as simple as that. Like, you put this guy in a carry role and game becomes really simple for you. He's going to farm and eventually he's going to win. And he farms so quickly, and he's still impactful in mid-game team fights. There's like so many bonuses to this hero. But yeah, I think that them and maybe OG Seed, I'm kind of anticipating to see those two in the finals. Those are the two teams that impress me the most. But it's hard to say because a lot of these series were so stompy. Right? It's not like it's not just the invited teams. None of them made it. It's that all of them got 2-0'd and dominated to shit. We didn't have a single close game, did we?
I think there was one, right, with J178.
We had
a
a 60-minute game.
Yeah, but that still was a 2-0. That was Singularity that bounced back. And yeah, it's a little bit worrying. But it makes it hard to measure because you would say that all these teams are on relatively similar levels. That none of them have really proven themselves to a grand scheme, right? So this could go any way. And tomorrow it will be Singularity versus OG Seed, and then Fly to Moon versus Nemiga. And then whoever wins each of those will face off in a best-of-3 grand final. But you won't be joining me for that, Cap. No,
I gotta get on a plane.
You have, and we decided to replace. See, you're very good at wet t-shirts. We decided to get a man who struggles to even wear a t-shirt. So Liz will be returning. He was doing the group stage with me. He'll be back for the final day of this tournament.
Nice.
You know, Cap, he does provide a means to get wet. I guess some people would argue that Liz does it a different way. So Muscle Man, my Bosnian boy, he'll be returning. But Cap, it has been a pleasure, my friend, and good luck with your flight and with what should be a very fun event in Bukovel.
Oh yeah, Bukovel is actually going to be such a hype event. I just keep on going over the teams, and it's like pretty good.
Yeah,
you've got like Ninjas in Pajamas, okay, pretty good. We'll see how they are with Tanner. Hopefully they're better. RNG, I think that's a solid team. Gambit, I think that team is potentially really good. And then the obvious standouts of Nigma, who are in a minor. Liquid once again are going to start their season. Our Kuro's team is once again going to start a season by not making the major right away. So, you know, that's just some classic build-up for them. So,
should be hype. Fun. And then other than that, you can always go for some snowboarding, skiing. I'm sure there'll be some content targeted around that. I can't imagine they won't. But guys, you can catch more Cap then, and you'll catch more of me and Liz tomorrow. But we're done for today. Go get yourself some rest. Be back tomorrow is an earlier start. Tomorrow will begin at, let me just double check the exact time. It is going to be a 14 CET start. So an hour and a half earlier than we did today. But we'll see you then.